chair.
I call to order the February 26, 2026 City Commission meeting to order. All 5 commissioners are present, 1 via Zoom. First item on the order of business is the consideration of the approval of minutes from February 12th meeting. Questions, comments, or changes on those?
I have none.
I have none.
Okay, then they will stand as presented. Next up, we have citizen comments on non-agenda items. Anybody who wishes to come up and speak to the commission in this portion, please state your name for the record.
Adam Prey. Thank you for listening to me. I've got a development south of town on Reservation Road. We've got a 14-house development we're proposing. The part of the requirements of the development is we have to have sanitary sewer. This is our 3rd edition, so the last edition we did, we tied into Big Creek Sewer, and Big Creek is being amicable at this point, but we wanted a plan B, so I'd ask the commission to consider if for whatever reason Big Creek denies our sewer request, that we tie right into your sewer line, same line they tie into, so that's all I got.
I'm assuming you've already been in contact with staff?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah, Adam and I talked the other day about it.
Okay, perfect. Then we'll just, we'll continue with staff recommendations and requests and take it into consideration.
Adam, when is it on the county's agenda?
The county agenda, we're meeting at the Planning and Zoning on March 25th, and then we have the county commission meeting on April 7th.
Thank you.
What would be very helpful if you guys would consider it is if I could get something in writing from you, so I have a Plan B option just in case I can't get Big Creek sewer approval. So,
Yeah, I said verify what's needed with staff.
We could do possibly like a letter of intent. Logistically, I mean, the developer would be responsible for the cost of the infrastructure. We have a main line that runs along Highway 40, so the developer would have to get a private easement, to get to that line, and then pay for any engineering. But we have outside sewer customers. We have a lot of capacity, so it wouldn't cause us any problems logistically.
Okay.
So it would just be a matter of not encroaching in anybody's territory, and sort of outlining the terms of it. But we could draft a kind of a pretty simple letter of intent.
Oh, we don't need to
guys
vote.
could-
We could just have consensus.
Yeah, or we could put it on consent agenda.
Okay.
And you could take care of it
Good
that way.
idea.
That way it's something that it's not binding, but it's a letter of intent. If it doesn't work out, we would intend to work with you moving forward.
And we wouldn't be able to do that for 2 weeks? Or maybe longer, because we don't have a meeting next week.
Yeah. We don't have a meeting, we don't have a work session next week or meeting the following week, so it'll be the following after that.
and that's okay. I've got till April 7th. So
Okay, so
if
the
we can make
timing's
it happen,
okay.
That'd be very,
Yeah.
yeah, we're good on time.
So we could shoot for that, for the next meeting to get a quick letter of intent on, sticking on the consent agenda.
Okay. Are you guys okay with that?
I'm all right.
We're out with staff, I have no problem with it.
Okay.
Thanks,
All right.
guys. And the chances are very slim that we go this route. I just wanted a Plan B just in case. So,
Don't blame you.
thanks,
Thank you.
guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
John.
All right. Any additional questions or comments from the citizens on non-agenda items? Nope. Okay. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Only thing here right now is mayoral appointment recommendations for the Hayes CVB Advisory Board. It's 2 that have served previously. Heard nothing but good things about their service on the board, and they are very eager to continue that service. So I would ask for your guys' recommendations.
Move approval of the consent agenda.
I second.
We have a motion by Commissioner Jacobs, second by Commissioner Verleising. Additional questions or comments on that? Okay, if not, I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passes 5-0. All right. New business. First up, Fort Hays Tech North Central Big Creek Technical Training Center Annual Report. President Burks.
All right, just hit that, and there we go. All right, I know that
when anyone walks into a public meeting and sees a crowd like this, I'm sure Adam, when he walked in, he's like, who else? You know, but this is what happens when you offer to buy people lunch if they come and to a meeting. So, Adam, you're welcome to come along. More the merrier. But I actually figured you'd get out of here before you had to listen to me speak again. But so anyway, want to take time to introduce a few of the folks that are here that we've invited along. Of course, I think most of you know me, but Eric Burks, the president at Fort Hays Tech North Central. Dale Montgomery, who's a board member and has been since 1987, so for 39 years. And he continues to be an outstanding board member and very active in the college, and really appreciate all of his effort and commitment to the college. Lance Smith, who's been with us a little less time, but also an excellent board member. We're very blessed to have him as well. Appreciate you guys both joining us tonight. We also have Diana Baughman, who's the Vice President of Hays Operations, Finance and Hays Operations. Mindy Anschutz, who's our Advancement Director. And Samantha Johnson, if you're going to the Chamber meeting tomorrow, she's going to be speaking with me. I'm going to be speaking with her is probably the better way to put it. But she's our new Director of Apprenticeships and Workforce Development. I'll talk a little bit about what she's going to do for us too. And then I might just have instructors stand. Anyone here that's on the list? Well, I'll go ahead. I'll just do it one individually. Is Ethan here? I don't see him here. James? Don't see him. Melanie McMillan, I saw you here. Thank you for joining. So she's with the construction tag, really kind of rovers around. She helps all the way around. She's a Jane of all trades, I guess. So Marty Walters, who's with our electrical department chair. Craig Ford, I don't think could make it, nor Sam. Andy Schwinn, I think I saw he was here, so he's our department chair for plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Angel Hernandez, who's a new instructor with us this year. We're glad to have him. And Mike Eckert, I know, had told me that he couldn't be here either. So, and then we have some business technology. Jennifer Younger here as well, and Jennifer Von Lentil. So the Jennifers showed up as well. They're kind of excited. You'll see why here in just a minute. And then Wilma, who just, I don't know, normally she feeds us, but this time she's So anyway, I think that's all of my crew that's here. So this room's going to get a lot less populated here in a minute, I suppose. But I think for those of you that are new to us or don't know about Fort Hays Tech North Central, previously NCK Tech, I know, but we serve approximately 1,300 students a year. That's head count. We're one college with 2 campuses. We have a campus here in Hays that's around 250 full-time students. We're actually a little north of that, I think, now because of the new building that I'll tell you about. We also have a gateway program here in Hays with the university, so our students can live on university campus and be part of university life there. I'm not sure if I'm standing close enough to the mic. So, and then Beloit, we're around 200, maybe 225 full-time program students there. And we have on-campus housing there and food service as well. And we are a fully accredited college, so don't call us the VOTAC, anybody. I'm not going to point any fingers. I don't know what's happened.
I saw that finger go right by. Fort Hays Tech North Central, I was practicing.
There you go. You got it down. You say it better than I do. So. And we do, the main reason for that is because we do have transferable credits, and that's always important for folks to know. As I tell you all the time, and it's just because it continues to be true, that we are consistently in the top 10 in the nation in graduation rates, so we're very proud of that. That's not because our programs are easy. It's because we have a lot of people very dedicated to helping students get across the finish line and reach their goals, and we just really stress that to our students from day one. And we are typically the highest ranked in Kansas, as you can imagine, if we're the highest or one of the top 10 in the nation. Also this year, and it's a 2-year cycle, and it's been since 2013 that we've been one of the top 150. I noticed this year they have the top 200, so I don't know why they broadened their standard, but anyway, we cleared that one too, and we are one of the top 150 or 200 two-year colleges in the nation. That's out of over 1,000 two-year colleges, so that's some national recognition that we've received. I think you all know about the affiliation. Appreciate your attendance at launch parties a couple years ago or a year and a half ago. But just reminding everybody, because a common question I get is, why did you guys decide to sell to the university? Or when you were taken over by the university? We're not taken over. They weren't taking over us. We're just separate entities, but we're partners, and we're very proud of that. we've been partners actually for my entire time with the college. That started before me, but I'm happy that it's been a natural progression to continue to evolve and to become deeper and deeper partners. And we're just really committed to better serving our students, businesses, and communities, increasing opportunities for all of those, increasing resources that are available to us. We just know when we look around, we can either fight for students, which we don't compete a lot with the university anyway. Our students are usually a little different, or we can work together to figure out how do we keep more people here so that they can fill the jobs and the needs that we have for workforce in this area. And so I'm proud to be partners with both Fort Hays Tech Northwest in Goodland, as well as Fort Hays State University. So I'm going to tell you about a few exciting things. We've had a lot of, we were joking, I forget who I was talking to. I should be collecting all these ribbons and somehow papering a wall with it or something around here. We have a lot of ribbon cuttings going on. We had a grand opening or a ribbon cutting for our brand new equipment and heavy equipment operations, which this is a program that we've had for years. And it's also been a program that I've struggled with for years in figuring out how do we get modern equipment for these students to operate. Bob Severance, some of you may know him. He's 99 years old, but he was the director for 25 years, which is the equivalent of the president at the time. He's told me stories about how they got him out of government surplus and had to let the air out of the tires to get under the overpasses in order to get him back to Beloit. And when I first came to the college, I think that our heavy equipment spent as much time, the equipment itself spent as much time with our diesel technology students as it did with our operating students. It just was pretty run down. And so we had worked with John Deere and Caterpillar over the years to rent equipment. They were renting it to us too cheap and it wasn't good for them. Then they were renting it to us too expensive. It wasn't good for us, but we hung in there with each other. And eventually we got a grant. And we got a $3.7 million EDA grant thanks to a lot of support from a lot of folks, legislators, U.S. senators. So really appreciate all that. But we were able to secure that with a lot of hard work from Diana Bauman and Mindy Itchitz and others in this room. And through that, we were able to get 9 pieces. You would think 3.7 might buy more than 9 pieces, but actually it may, because our partners were so good when they came in with the deals that we actually went back and said, hey, I don't know how to make that go back. Oh, I did make it go back. We don't know how to make, or sorry, I'm sorry to repeat myself there. We weren't sure. They came in with the price. We were already approved for $3.7 million, and it came in under that. So we said, hey, we could buy more equipment. We need it. And so they're considering that now, and we're hopeful that it might actually be 13 or 14 pieces of equipment. But the most exciting thing about this is, to me, the sustainable business model, because we're able to buy this at a government rate. And so at that government rate, we've built a shed, or basically a canopy, so we can keep it under shed there, and hopefully the residual value will be high enough that Caterpillar and John Deere both say the business market is so strong that we should be able to turn that in 3 or 4 years and be able to take what we get there, go back to the education government market, and buy new again and just keep cycling it through. So that's the exciting thing, is it's not just a one-time, we're going to have nice equipment. We should be in a position we'll have nice equipment for a long time. And both vendors had told us that we have the nicest fleet of any educational entity by far, but even a lot of companies that are around, which means that our students are going to be able to go out and drive some of that new equipment that they know how to run now, and it's got the guidance systems and all the latest greatest. So we're excited about that. This may be, Wilma's also here, and Adam's here as well, and he's part of this, but we're excited to be part of the LB Event Center. That's where the chamber meeting is at tomorrow, by the way, if you want to come hear Sam talk. But our culinary arts program, we had a ribbon cutting there earlier this year, and we're really excited to be part of the kitchen space there. Adam and I had talked. We had been part of a grant together to help get some funding for that. And through all of that, we were able to utilize the kitchen, not every day, but some days of the week. And that's been a great arrangement for us. It's an industrial kitchen. It's beautiful and a great experience for our students. Told you earlier about Samantha that I'd give you a little. So she's Director of Apprenticeships and Workforce Development. The main thing there is we talked about the North Star with the affiliation. You know, we think we do pretty well with students, but communities and businesses, that's not as innate to us. It's not something that we do, and we just need to go out and figure out. We know that we have kind of a one-size-fits-all, and we need to make sure that we consider other ways that we can help serve communities and businesses. So she's been out darkening the doors of several businesses. I think she's been out to you say 70 or 80 different companies? A little over 100. Sorry, I didn't mean to shortchange you. So she's been a very busy lady, and we just really appreciate that she's going out, finding out what can we do? How could we serve you differently? How can we use our resources to help you and your business? And that's part of the commitment from the affiliation. And by the way, she's got a counterpart at the university. I think a lot of you know Ben Shears. He used to be the president at Northwest. And also, there's a person that does the same thing out at Northwest as well. And you always have to tell me her name. Shayla, that's right. I'll remember one of these days. So anyway, the other exciting thing, and I really want to start with, I thank you for those of you that were able to come to the ribbon cutting the other day. It was an exciting event. It was fun to have the Lieutenant Governor here to celebrate with us. But, 30,000 square feet almost, it doubled our capacity for our programs that have been housed at Big Creek. It means more students, more workforce, more instructors, which means more employees for us, more people in the community. 2 times the houses that we're making, and if you ask the Department of Commerce, it's actually 3. I can tell you more about that if you want to know. But anyway, it depends on how you count a duplex is all that it is. But anyway, so we're very excited about that building and what it means for us, and we hope you are as well, and I think you are because of your attendance at the grand opening, so thank you. So you already know the former is what I put on their programs at Big Creek: electrical technology, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. Those 2 were kind of the last ones. We started with carpentry there. It's moved out over the years, and also CDL started there years ago, and it's moved out as well. But there's several area businesses that serve on the advisory committees for those programs to make sure the training meets the region's needs. The instructors work with the city to make sure they're licensed or working under a licensed contractor if they're not. And so we appreciate all the work with the city on that as well. And they're former because the programs that we plan to move into Big Creek are business management, business technology, culinary arts, and telecommunications. So that's why we have some extras here. You guys are welcome for supper as well, by the way. And they also have business and industry advisory groups that tell them what they should be training in, how they can best meet the needs of the region. And to me, what's exciting about it is, and I thought it was cool, I was trying to think of what picture to represent their departments, and then I was like, when they do the drive-through at Oktoberfest, all of those programs, especially this year, telecommunications was involved as well. All of those students and departments work together to pull off the Oktoberfest. So it's kind of cool that they're all going to be down in that same building together, and we're excited to have them downtown. We're still going to be working with Gella's and LB Event Center with culinary arts. That doesn't, like I said, they're there some days, and otherwise they're out on the main campus. Now they're going to be down here closer to downtown, and hopefully our business departments can work more with businesses downtown as well. So we think it could really serve the region better and serve our departments better. So now I'll talk to you about the building condition. We installed a new furnace in the West Shop building. That's the separate building back behind. We installed energy efficient LED lights in the restrooms and classrooms. We did a full service, including rebuilding the circulation pump for the boiler system. Multiple roof repairs, which I'll talk to you about here in a minute. Mini split heating system and cooling system that we did some repairs to. Painted stripes in the north parking lot. If you hadn't noticed, we have got a new sign on the side of the building as well, and did some framing repairs due to a pipe break in the West Shop. So those are some of the things that we've done. And so now I want to share with you some plans of what we would like to do to this building. You can imagine when a building is set up for working with construction programs, it's a little different need than having culinary arts and business programs in there, telecommunications. And so we would like to we'd like to do some projects here, and I told Toby about this the other day, and I said I'd share these a little bit. We've got to work through it. The board is aware of these plans as well. To orient you, that side, the right side, is the east side of the building. And so as you come in, and I'm going to focus, it'll zoom in here in a minute, I think, if I did this right, to the women's and men's restroom area. So right now, and that's actually how we want to make it, but the women's and men's restroom, there's one stall, and I'll show you that. That's the women's restroom right now. there used to be a partition there, but when we had ADA compliance come through, you couldn't get a wheelchair in there. And so we had to take out the partition. So the door opens right up to the stall, which is not typical for most bathrooms. And you can imagine in most of our construction fields, we haven't had as many ladies involved. This is the ladies' restroom. But with business technology, culinary arts, there's going to be a larger population we expect. Of course, all of our programs can have anyone, men or women, in any of them, but we know how they usually go, and usually those programs have more women. So we're going to need to find a way to accommodate more ladies in that building. And so we would like to expand this bathroom. The wall that separates the men's and the women's bathroom is a non-supporting wall. And so we'd like to take that out, make it a little larger so that we can get at least 2, if not 3 stalls on the ladies' side and still maintain most of the stalls on the men's side. There's a shower in there that I don't know if anyone's ever used it. I remember one time I used it. I don't remember why, but it's been a while back. But we don't need a shower in the bathroom there, and I'll show you that too. So this is the men's side. So there's 3 sinks. There's that shower that's kind of here before you get to the stalls. And so we think that we can move the door over and gain some of that space back for the ladies' restroom. So that's what we're hoping to do there as a project. The other is that we need a couple more classrooms. And this is a little different maybe than the drawing, so there's nothing set in stone. But what I really liked about it was that our departments went down with our vice president of instruction and basically went through the building and kind of said, this is the stuff that we would like to see happen. And so they drew up some plans. This is a little modification of those plans, but essentially the same thing. And so we do need a business technology classroom and a telecommunications program. When I first walked into that space, I saw this structure, and that's the structure that when you were at the grand opening that he hadn't finished yet in the new building. And I thought, why did we rebuild it if we already have it? Why didn't we repurpose that? But telecommunications would also like to have their students wire in the house and run their cabling and all of that. So it'll be great for them to do as well. And so I thought maybe we could build the walls out of all that material, but they said, no, that's already. So, and we probably want to use steel studs anyway. So, but right in this area where we're looking, that's where we would like to build those two classrooms out in that garage shop bay. So, as far as the culinary arts, really we just want to make this kitchen functional again. I don't know when the last time, besides a microwave dinner, that's made a meal. And so we'd like to make it to where our culinary arts students and instructor can utilize that space. That's one side where the dishwashing is, and that's the other side. It had vending machines in there before. It looks a lot bigger with the vending machines gone. But it's still not a great big kitchen, but it would allow some space when we're not able to be at Gellas that we could use at the LB Event Center, I'll get that right, but that we could use that space for practice for the culinary arts students. So that's what we're hoping to do with that space. This is where the culinary classroom would be. I'm assuming there must have been a cage or something there. I don't know why that fence is off the ceiling instead of on the ground. But I assume that was to probably protect whatever gear or things, equipment that they had stored there. But we'd like to remove that, big air handler system that actually opens above those 2 doors that we think would actually be a great place for a window to let some natural light into that space. So we'd like to take that down and move it. And then in here, we're really talking about cosmetic changes, flooring, and some paint. You can see the ceiling is actually fairly new, mostly in this room. It doesn't have as many leaks as some of the others, and it has new LED lighting in it as well. But the roof is going to have to be addressed as well. That's something that we're going to have to do as an improvement. So that's the condition of the building. You can kind of see it more when it's cleared out. You have all the equipment around, you miss out on some of that stuff. We've known that the roof, we've been kind of pampering it along, but if we're going to make some type of investment, we're going to need to have a new roof on there to make sure that it protects that investment. So the other thing is that, and Toby and I are continuing to work through looking at the contract and how we can reframe the contract maybe in a longer term so that if the college is going to invest funds into that building, that we can get the use out of it and not worry about having it being that you all say, those are nice changes. I think we'll use that for something else. Not that you would ever do that, but I'd like to have it in writing that you're not going to do that. No offense at all, but that's the way I like to do business. So anyway, going back to the current programs that are in the building, and I'll finish up here, but we have a project house, as you know, but this is what I was telling you, we have actually 3, if you want to count it that way, but a single-family home that's 1,920 square feet. That's what we typically build. And these are right, I don't know if you got a chance to tour that day, but they're right to the north of our building. It's super easy for the carpentry students and everyone to get to those versus the way it used to be. The story behind the duplexes, we got a grant from the Department of Commerce, that frame grant, and we originally were told that we didn't qualify, and we had 3 days to figure out how we could qualify, and I couldn't figure out why we didn't qualify, to be honest with you. And they said, well, you have to build 3 new structures. I said, 3? I said, we are building 3. We had they had to build 2 structures. I said, we are building 2. And they said, no, it has to be 2 new ones. It has to be 3 total. I was like, I don't know how we're going to do that. We didn't build the building to hold 3 classes. I don't know if we have capacity coming in for that. And so I called him back and I said, how would you count a duplex? Would you count a duplex as 1 or 2? They said, well, we count that as 2. And I said, well, then there you go. We're qualified. So we ended up getting $492,000 out of building a wall between both sides of the house. So, but anyway, so really it doesn't make sense to me necessarily, but that's the way it worked out. So we'll be selling, and we're kind of interested to see what the market's going to be like for a duplex, to be honest. And I know that the city ordinances are different for setbacks and different things with a duplex too. We've had some trouble getting some of the houses into the community. Maybe we'll see some of these duplexes that people will be interested in. So if you want to come out and see it anytime, just let us know. We'd be happy to tour you. But there is an open house on April 29th at 10 o'clock. That's a Wednesday. And then be auctioned off by Don Hammett on May 26th at 7 o'clock. And we'll auction both. I don't know which one we're going to do first. We'll figure that out. Don will probably have some advice on that. But anyway, that's when the sale will be. If you want more information, you can go to our website. And again, just contact us if you want a tour. The impact of last year's house, we just had the one then, was a 1,920 square foot home. It brought $236,000 at auction, which generated $21,830 in sales tax and represented about $140,000 worth of building product and material that we purchased mostly from businesses in Hayes. So
Eric, where did that house go, if I'm
it went to
asking?
Osborne, purchased by Alan and Janelle Birch. So
And do you have any idea what it cost them to move it from your campus to Osborne?
I don't know for sure.
That's okay. I was just trying to put together this cost and total cost to the bar.
Right. I think what we usually advise folks is that you can expect to spend, because you got to realize, and it depends on what you want out of the house, right? So, but if you're going to add a double garage, let's say, some people might want a triple garage, but let's say it's a double garage and you're going to put it on a basement. That's probably $100,000 of investment right there at least. And then you still have to put a heater in it. We don't do the heating. We put the boots in. But we don't want to dictate where it's going to go. And of course, we can't put it on there because, you want it to be in your basement if you're going to put it on a basement. And so those are additional costs that you're going to have above that. We try to be very clear about that. We also try to be very clear that they're going to have to pay sales tax, which sometimes people don't like, but that's the way it is. We don't pay sales tax, and so we have to pay sales tax on the materials that we used. So.
Well, it's still, adding everything you're putting together, that's still pretty reasonable for almost 2,000 square feet home.
Yeah. Adam bought one once for a day. So.
For a day?
That's a whole other story. So, sorry, Adam. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say that. There's a story behind it. We'll tell you sometime. So anyway, beyond that, we like to be good community partners. I won't go through the whole list, but it's the same stuff that we try to help with every year, and we always look to add to this list and be involved in the community. And that includes, we treat Martin Luther King Day as a day of service. He was known for civil rights, obviously, and all of his work there, but he was also big about volunteerism and service. And so we go out on Martin Luther King Day and do different projects. We've built birdhouses for Camber and done just different things for thrift shops in the area. But we're happy to look at other things too. So if you have anything or know of an organization that could use some extra help, it's one day that we do, but we're always doing that on Martin Luther King Day. And otherwise, because of our 16-year partnership since 2009, we have trained 741 full-time students in carpentry, electricity, plumbing, heating, and air conditioning. We built one range house, if you remember that, out for the city or the police department. We have one regional fire training facility that we built with Fort Hays State University. We have 13 new houses since we started building those a little later, since we were doing those other projects. And now we have one new state-of-the-art construction training facility. And I give you all a lot of credit because you took a chance on us when we first asked if we could use that building and move those programs into town. So because you took that risk, we're able to do what we've been able to do and over those 16 years. So thank you for your commitment and support. And other than that, just always like to wrap up with reminding people we have about a $31 million impact, and we have a lot of exciting things happening at the college. We want to be strong community partners, and we've accomplished a lot together, and we greatly value and appreciate your collaboration. So I would stand for any questions. I do have to make one more comment. I haven't been able to use this picture very much. I think you'll be able to see why if you study close. I think it's a great picture. We have all these staff here. And it's not because Sierra wore pink pants, although I didn't like that either. But it's because that Bud Light truck that's up in the upper left. We were going to put it on the Christmas card. And if you're a Seinfeld fan, we didn't want to have a Seinfeld moment. So we didn't use it on the Christmas card. But I thought if I can't have a Bud Light truck on a picture in Hayes America, then something's wrong. So I went ahead and used it for this presentation.
You just
Anyway.
Photoshop
Yeah,
an
you can
October
I was
Fest.
gonna say, Photoshop that right out of there.
I probably could, but why? You know, it's kind of fun.
It's a good photo. That's
So do you have any questions? And I'd stand for those.
Commissioners, any questions or comments?
As always, I really appreciate the sharing everything that's going on and looking at the economic impact at $31 million. That's a lot to this community, and we appreciate everything you do and the students that come and those that stay, and there are some that stay.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would definitely like to set up a tour of your new building. I had to work, unfortunately, that day.
Yeah.
So, but I, you know, seeing, even since I've been on here, what you guys have done for the community, it's great. And, you know, hopefully, how long is the contract that we have with them right now?
It's on auto renew now, so I
Auto
believe
renew.
it's a year-to-year auto
Year to
renew.
year, okay. So,
Or even maybe a 2-year auto renew.
Gotcha. So, yeah, but hopefully we
Makes
can.
sense to change it, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But appreciate what you do and what you bring to our community on, you know, every year with the students.
Thank you. And it's because of all these fine folks
Exactly.
here. So
Yep.
yeah, I just get to stand up here and tell you about
Yeah,
it.
I get. Well, thank you.
I like what you're doing. I saw the new building, and it's a heck of a nice facility. A lot of improvements from the previous facility, so I can't wait to see what we can make happen there at that building for the new program. So
Yeah.
very exciting.
Thank you.
Elena?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on not only that $31 million impact, but one thing that I don't think that you mentioned much of, Eric, is not only your partnership with the community and Fort Hays, but the programs that you offer to our area high school students as well as dual credit. It's really creating a workforce for our region, not just for once they graduate, but even while they're in high school. I know personally I can only speak to one of your programs, but I'm sure there's many others. But the CNA and the CMA course that you guys offer is being taken advantage of immensely by high school students, and I've seen how much value that brings to our nursing homes and hospitals and clinics, getting staff in those positions to help fill those spots. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And that's an excellent point because we do have a lot of great partnerships on the high school side as well. And so I should have highlighted those more, but I'm glad that you brought them up.
I'm glad she did too, because I have a question about if, I don't know how many are participating, but do you find them coming on full-time after they get out of high school? Do you have a percentage of them that actually come to?
You always like to stump me with those
I
questions.
do.
about
Leave you with
your-
one, you have to send me an
Yeah,
email on.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a good percentage to share with you, Sandy, but I do know that we have a decent number that continue on. We also, we've had automotive for a long time, again, since I've been with the college, where they can take their, their junior year of high school, they take the first semester of what would be their freshman year in college, and then they take their senior year, the second semester of that,
Wow.
so they can come out of high school and be just 1 year to get a 2-year diploma after that. So,
Great.
so we try to make sure that that can happen. It probably doesn't happen as much as I would like it or you would like it to happen, but it does happen quite a bit. And then Tom Albers and I used to talk about this too, because there is some value to students taking those courses and finding out, I really like, working on cars, but it's not what I want to do for a profession. And so sometimes that's the realization that they have too when they go through the program as well. Not that that's what, we want to train them for the workforce, but if they're not going to, if that's not what they want to do, then they learn that in high school, and then they can get to us with something that they want to do, or somebody else with something that they want to do.
Thank you.
Yep.
No, Eric, I appreciate everything you guys have done for the community and for our students. I know a few years ago, when I was mayor the first time, one of the first things I got to sign was a letter of support for your guys' affiliation with Fort Hays State.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a really humbling experience to be able to be a part of that,
Yeah.
to help you guys along. And it was right after you guys got your new logo and the cool blue and green colors, and then you're like,
I know.
we got to
There's a
change
few
everything
people here
again.
that will tell you that too, yeah.
But I think it's done amazing things. I mean, sent ripples across at least Kansas, if not more. One of the great things I get to do when I help do like job fairs at Hayes High or mock interviews, the amount of kids who are looking at your specific programs seems to be increasing every single year. They're understanding the importance and the need of what you guys offer and how great it is to have it right here in our backyard. And you guys aren't letting things get stagnant. As soon as you need something to grow, you immediately figure out how can we do it, and you do it. So I appreciate everything you guys have done,
Thank you.
of course. Any additional questions or comments, commissioners? Okay. We'll
Happy
let you
to
get
stand
to
here longer if you're going to keep showering us with compliments.
I will.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate your time as always, and look forward to presenting every year. So
Thank everybody for coming. That's always nice
Thank
to
you,
have you
guys.
all here.
Enjoy your dinner.
If anybody wants to chip in on what supper's going to cost.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you all.
Yeah, thank you guys.
See you, Dale. Good to see you.
Thank you, guys.
You say you're full of hot air or what?
All right. Another exciting program, Water Conservation Program, 2025 results and 2026 plans. Holly.
Good afternoon. I'm going to try to talk a little bit louder because in the past I've listened to myself and I cut in and out. So if I start getting quiet, let me know. Yeah, it just seems like I was just here, and here I am again. A year has passed. So just to go back, I show this slide often, but I tried to show it because it is a really good contrast of how quickly things can change. And this was back in February of 2012, abnormally dry, moderate drought. By August of that year, we were in exceptional drought. Unfortunately, I'm having flashbacks to that year this year with as warm as it's been in February, so I hope me talking about it makes it go away. This past year in February in 2025, here's where we were. Thankfully, things are looking like this at the moment. We're not in drought, at least for Hays, Kansas. But the outlook for us is that drought development is likely. So pretty much the whole half of the state, that was just the latest release of that outlook. 2025 was again an above average year for precipitation in Hays. I say in Hays because if you go to the K-State Mesonet for Ellis County, the total precipitation was under 20 inches. So it varies quite a bit, but Hays had over 26, and for the year so far, we've got an inch 62, according to the Ag Research Center, which is above average for this time of year. Moving on to rebates, toilet rebate program was down just slightly, but still holding pretty steady. We had 181 of those toilets replaced. Average gallon per flush, 1.08 gallons, and you can see potential water saved for that one there. The washing machine rebate, right, steady, pretty close to 2025. For 2024, excuse me, we had 90 replaced in 25, so 18,000 paid out, and the average integrated water factor was 3.1, which they must be 3.2 or less to qualify for the rebate. Our other two rebate programs that are still new, I call them, the smart irrigation controllers and rain sensor shutoff, not real popular yet. But we did have a couple replaced as far as the irrigation controllers, and we'll see how that goes. We may end up doing something a little bit different there. But like I said, that's only been in place for a couple years, so we'll see. Drought year might have a change with some of those things too. Rebate programs for 2025 continuing. We have turf conversion rebates. Slow year for that again. 9 total in 2025, and you can see the square footage switched out. Pre-inspections still waiting to be converted, just close to 3,000. But I seem to see more turf to turf conversions, which I like. So happy about that, taking out the cool season turf grass and replacing with a warm season turf grass. But we'll see what this next year brings. Something happened here. There we go. Okay, shower heads. Again, pretty even with 2024, 85 or so of those distributed. Still replacing those on a regular basis. Again, water potential saved there as well. And education outreach, I share this list every single year, but it just is a list of things that generally are taking place. These may change a little bit from year to year, but this is a laundry list of things that go on generally every single year that I have been with the city. And as far as traditional media goes, we have radio spots, we've got traditional TV ads. I do live radio once a week, so we've had 48 live interviews in 2025, and then also some digital ads as well. We are on social media, as we have been for many years, and those pages still continue to be growing. Just a couple examples of some of the posts that I've put out in the last couple of years. I'm just trying to keep it fun, but educational at the same time. Fix the Leak Week 2025, again, over 1,600 toilet dye tab packets and instruction sheets were sent out to every grade school student in Hayes. So I like that project because it is a good awareness program for the kids and for the parents. I want to give a shout out to the people that I work with because I would not be able to staple all those little things to papers without those people. So that is a big thank you to the water resources staff that help me with some of those projects every year. This year, the slips that were returned to the schools with their observations had a chance to win a prize, 2 per school, and this year they got buckets full of water conservation educational items. World Water Day Fun Fest was our biggest one yet in 2025. We had 370 people attend, and that's a huge number for a short program. It's only a 2-hour event, so it's from 10 to noon at the Sternberg Museum lobby. We love this event because it brings everyone from the Water Resources Department out to help educate, along with community members. So we'll have NRCS and Extension and some of those types of people there. But we have tons of educational opportunities to see how wastewater treatment works and how the water distribution system works, and the maintenance guys talking about how they fix water main breaks and things like that. Our poster contest for 2025 was also very successful. Once again, we had 630 posters in 2025, and that's just Hayes. When I talk about this in other communities, they say that's through the state. I said, no, that's just Hayes that had 630 posters. So again, we are very happy to continue that program. We display those during Spring Art Walk on Main Street through the month of May, and then again at the Ellis County Fairgrounds. Our award ceremony takes place usually in April or late March at Sternberg. Once again, hugely attended, and thank you all for being there if you were there to help hand out those awards. If you recall, in 2024, we had a partnership program where we had some grant funding from K-State 105, and this was a Know Your Water program in conjunction with Stacy Minson and K-State. We had phase 2 take place in 2025, where we actually did some irrigation system checks of some commercial properties, including some at Fort Hayes, some of the parks, and we also met up with DS and WK, talked to them a little bit about their potential drip system redo. And so this was something that took place last summer. Another part of that K-State 105 was some funding to hold a No Water Summit. Unfortunately, it had to be rescheduled, but we had it in June, and it was successful. I had good feedback from that. We did a pre-tour the night before, an environmental tour, and so they got a tour of the water treatment plant, wastewater treatment plant, some of those types of facilities. There is some funding still, have been told, so we're talking about possibly holding another one this summer, but nothing's been set in stone yet, so we will let you know what the plan is there. I had the opportunity to set up a display of all of our past, not all of them, but some of the winning posters for the governor when she was here in July for a ceremonial signing of House Bill 2172. I thought that was pretty neat to have the governor looking at those posters, and we had our water ambassadors there to partake in that event, and we even had a couple of them interviewed for an article later in the day. Go Truck Go, again, a huge event that we like to be present at because 675 people attended this event this year. So we want to be where the people are, and we will continue to do that as opportunity allows. Water Smart Wally, always available at those events. He's very popular. And we are continuing to partner with the Chamber on the Welcome Home buckets. They told me that approximately 300 of those buckets were given out in 2025, which is more than they've had in the past. So I thought that was great. Trying to get the word out that water is important right away when you start a new water account here in Hayes. And as always, there's so many different things that I could talk about, but we just don't have time for that today. So we're gonna keep moving on. I really don't see a lot of things changing. We are starting some new partnerships with the HRC. We've already done a few programs with them, so I'm excited about that. That's kind of a new thing for us. And as AMI and maybe a customer portal, those sorts of things take off, hopefully I can help with educational efforts around those and keep spreading that message. If drought continues to be something that's in the future, I hope it's not, but if it is, that'll probably dictate some of my messaging going forward this spring and summer. But if there's new ideas, I'm always happy to hear them, so please let me know. And with that was fast and quick, but that was 2025.
Commissioners, questions, comments?
Great job, as always. Looks great.
It's interesting how many programs we got that aren't being taken advantage of. I noticed like the sprinkler things, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe I just need to advertise that particular one more. It's one of those that I don't know. I just need to work on that one, I guess. So.
That may be something that James can look
Yeah.
at, but I think a lot of times stuff falls off because lots of people have done it in the past.
Right.
And so there won't be as many coming years, even though we'd like to have more, but I'll bet James can make something happen with that.
How many of our water violations that we get through like our CSOs could be related to things that those would help with?
Good
I wonder.
question. I don't know the answer to that.
I do know they try to educate, one, they try to educate on proper watering and sprinkler adjustment or whatever, but I do know they educate on water conservation programs that are in place, if the opportunity presents itself.
Yeah, it'd be good to have a little handout to give to people when they're getting those violations too.
Absolutely.
And occasionally they'll have them call me if they have questions. And I don't get too many of those phone calls, but every once in a while I'll get one or two.
Elena?
Great job as always, Holly. Fabulous work. The only question I have is, you talked about how many of the little tablets for the toilets that you send out through the grade school. Do you guys count how many are returned out of curiosity? How many people participate?
Yes, I do. The participation is fairly low. I'm not going to lie. It's fairly low as far as percentage-wise. We do find leaks every year. So even if the kids are turning in those slips, there's at least, this year I think there was 9 leaks found. So I know there's a lot of leaks found that probably aren't reported or turned in on those slips, but I think it's a good awareness program regardless. So we may change the timing just a little bit this year because I have done it during Fix a Leak Week in the past, which is typically during spring break or right around that time. And that's a hard time for kids to remember to bring this back or parents to look at their backpacks. So we may be pushing that off a few weeks this year until later in the spring.
I can't imagine grade school kids not taking them home. I know in our neighborhood across the street, they're doing the same thing. Those kids
Yeah.
bring them home and they're checking. But getting it back is another story, it sounds
Right.
like.
Yeah, because the kids, at least the kids that I know that have done it, they like to see it, and then they're like, "Hey, look, the blue's coming out." Most of the time, the parents aren't like, "Hey, yeah, blue's coming out." They're like, "Oh, I have to replace a toilet."
Yeah.
So they're like, "I don't care about your little form. I need to."
Yeah.
So, Holly, I have a question on that form. So it's a paper form they have
Yeah.
to fill out, correct?
Yes.
So is there any way, just an idea, that we could have kids electronically fill it out?
Good question.
Because, I mean, kids know how to use this stuff better than I do.
Yeah.
And, I don't know, I just think you might get a better, I don't know.
Not a bad idea. I could look into that to see if maybe there would be participation that way. This way,
Like
the
a
nice thing
QR
about
code
this
or
is I know what school has what slips returned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not a bad idea. I'd have to look into that.
I don't know if it's worth what it would cost, but it's just an idea.
When she's doing such a,
QR code is a great idea.
Oh.
You could just have a tab that they have to fill out which school they attend.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
QR code.
kids are really used to using those.
Yeah.
Yes, they are.
No, Holly, I appreciate what you guys do. I mean, you're recognized not even just here, across the state, across the nation for the conservation efforts. I mean, today WaterPack said we lead the nation in conservation.
I heard that.
So we got
Oh, really?
a good call out from them on our conservation efforts. So I appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate that.
So
That
you
was
do.
nice of 'em.
It was very nice. So you do an amazing job. And
Part of the reason we don't need any more water.
Exactly.
According to them also.
That is not true.
I knew he wasn't going to be able to hold that in.
But I mean, the things that you do day in, day out, I mean, they actually have a real impact. 2 days ago when I picked my daughter up from school, she said, "Dad, I made you something." And I was like, "Okay." So she pulled this paper out and she drew her own water poster. Is it going to win? Probably not. But she had the right
I
spirit.
can't believe you said that.
She has the right spirit, but she's got her dad's drawing ability. But she says, because we need to save water, it's important. Yeah, absolutely, it's important.
Those kids know. and-
They do,
At a young age.
because she'll get on me if I leave something on too long. So it's something that, generationally, I was probably one of the first generations to go through the program, and now I get to see my kids getting the same information, and it's why we're conservation leaders, because of continued efforts like this and what you do. So appreciate you.
And
Thanks,
for the record, we still need water.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, because I feel that drought coming. Okay. Thank you so much. All right. Next up, rezoning request from Agricultural District AL to Light Industrial District I-1 for property located at 2460 East 27th Street. Jesse.
Good afternoon, Jesse Rohr, Director of Public Works. Now the boring items from Jared and myself. My two items are very closely related to each other. Both are zoning requests and adjacent properties. The first one being a rezoning request, 2460 East 27th Street. The property is just north of the Tech College and south of 27th Street and in the Wheatland area. It is, we did receive an application for that zoning from the current owner of the property. It is owned by LNA Enterprises, who had purchased the property in 2012 and has current use of there's a building on the property and they want to rezone to hopefully expand the services within their existing business. Two of the maps we only show with any zoning. We show the current zoning map. As you can see in the yellow box there, it's the property we're talking about. It is currently zoned ag. And again, they are requesting to zone to light industrial. The property is located outside city limits of Hayes, but within the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the city of Hayes. The second map we only show you is the future land use map that's in the adopted comprehensive plan. And as you can see, the difference in the two, this one is shown to be commercial, and that was the future of the property is shown to be commercial. So that's one of the main tools we look at and the Planning Commission looks at when doing a rezoning is how it rates as compared to the comprehensive plan future land use map. So Light industrial and commercial are as close and compatible as any two zoning districts that you can actually get. There are different uses allowed in every zoning district, and in this case, the light industrial zoning district. These are the uses by right. So if rezoned to light industrial, any of the uses you see on the screen are fair game once zoned. The generally lighter industrial type uses, retail, medical, offices, museums, nonprofit, things like that. And here's just a continuation of the list, a few more uses by right. The second group of uses within any zoning district, in this case is in the I-1, are the limited uses. So these are also allowed if rezoned to light industrial. However, with most of these, there are certain conditions or requirements that must be complied with. However, it's still, as long as the developer or property owner meets those conditions, it's approved by city staff. Here's just 4 more of the limited uses. And then the third and final group of types of uses are uses by exception. So any uses by exception within the Unified Development Code must go through a public hearing process through the Board of Zoning Appeals, and there's also a notification process of surrounding property owners as well. So it's much more involved if any of these types of uses were to be proposed on the property. So with this one, this being a rezoning, the options you have are dictated by state statute. You can approve the rezoning. That was recommended by Hayes Area Planning Commission, and it was a unanimous approval by the Planning Commission. I do want to mention that there were a couple, actually the 2 nearest property owners to this property were both present at the Planning Commission and were in support of the zoning request. Your second option would be to send it back to the Planning Commission if you feel the need to do so, and specify the exact basis for further review by the Planning Commission. Or your third option, provided by state statute, would be to overturn and override the Planning Commission's recommendation, and if so, that would require a 2/3 majority vote of the City Commission. And this would be the action requested.
I'll move to adopt ordinance number 4091, approving the rezoning request from Agriculture District AL to Light Industrial District I-1 for 2460 East 27th Street as further legally described within the adopting ordinance.
I second.
Motion by Commissioner Musil, second by Commissioner Valaising. Questions, comments on this item?
Makes sense.
Elena, anything from you?
No, nothing here.
Okay. All right. No other comments? I'll call for a vote on this one. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes 5-0. All right. Next up, rezoning request from Commercial District, General District C2 to Light Industrial District I-1 for property at 2470 East 27th Street.
Again, a very similar item, just a different parcel of property that's adjacent to the one we just talked about. That one was 2460, this one is 2470 East 27th, just lying to the east of the recent property you just spoke about before. So again, you can see in the red box in the picture on the right, this is the property we're talking about this time. Just like the other one, it does lie outside city limits, but within the ETJ of the city. The yellow box indicates, again, the subject property we're talking about. The major difference from this one to the one you just talked about was this one's actually currently zoned C2. It was zoned several years ago from ag to C2, and now they're wanting to also zone this one to light industrial, again, to hopefully expand options for use of the property. Also, map you showed before, this one also from the future land use map from the comprehensive plan, but it does indicate the commercial designation within the future land use map. Again, I'll show the uses. These are the same list of uses you saw on the last agenda item. You have the uses by right, you have the limited uses, and then the final group of uses, uses by exception, that again would require board zoning approval if they were to be considered by the property owner. The same 3 options afforded by state statute are listed here on the screen. The action requested as drafted.
I move to adopt ordinance number 4092, approving the rezoning request from Commercial General District C2 to Light Industrial District L1 for 2470 East 27th Street as further legally described within the adopting ordinance.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Vlising, second by Commissioner Jacobs. Questions, comments on this one?
No.
Elena?
I have none.
All right. Hearing none, we will call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes 5-0.
That was very quick, Jesse.
Thanks, Jesse.
That was very quick.
Very riveting also.
Now we're going to get more riveting.
Resolution setting public hearing for the Exit 157 24/7 Land Development Tax Increment Financing TIF Project Plan. Jared.
Good afternoon, Jared Cookman, Assistant City Manager. So today we'll be discussing two economic incentives, TIF and CID, both associated with the Exit 157 24/7 truck stop project. There are two agenda items here, but since they're dealing with the same project, I'll go over them together. So some background on this project. The developer has plans to construct an approximately 9,000 square foot full-service travel plaza and convenience store at the southeast corner of 230th Avenue and 55th Street, which is near the I-70 exit 157. So as part of that travel plaza, there would be gas and diesel fuel stations, EV charging stations, restaurant, dog park, and RV overnight campsites. Developer is seeking tax increment financing, or TIF, and a 2% Community Improvement District, or CID, to help support this project. We have talked about this project before, both when the IRB sales tax exemption was awarded this past November, as well as some previous steps in the TIF statutory process. And so what we're discussing today is just the next steps in that process. So these images here show the location for the project, which, as you can see, is just off of I-70 in the very northwest part of Hayes. This image here kind of shows the proposed site layout. Travel plazas there with a convenience store kind of facing west. Gas and diesel fuel stations there. So this image is of the 24/7 location that was recently developed and constructed in Russell by this same developer. So the goal here in Hayes would probably be to have something fairly similar to this. So first I'll go over the TIF. TIF is an economic incentive that captures the incremental gains in property taxes within a TIF district. So while state statute does also allow the sales taxes to be captured, the city's economic development policy does not allow this, so these dollars would not be captured as part of this project. The TIF revenues are captured for 20 years to go towards certain eligible costs. These eligible costs tend to be infrastructure related, and they're not for any sort of vertical construction or buildings. Under the city's policy, the TIF revenues would also be collected on a pay-as-you-go basis, which means that the developer pays for the costs upfront and then receives reimbursement as things get built out. So if the developer doesn't build or create anything, that means there's no revenues created, which means there's nothing for reimbursement for them. So then this kind of creates the incentive for them to create that build out and create the revenues for them to then get reimbursed from. They're not existing revenues that can be created unless the developer builds out. A cost-benefit analysis is required to be included in the project plan for TIF, and I'll just go over a few of the numbers that were city focused on this. The CBA does look at a full 25 years, although the incentives don't always last a full 25 years. TIF is only for 20. The CBA estimates that approximately $28 million in net benefit could be created to the city by this project, with over $27 million of that coming from sales tax revenues. Over the 20-year term for TIF, the city's portion of property taxes to be contributed could be approximately $1.1 million. And it's also estimated that 14 direct new jobs could be created at this location for this project. So the other incentive being asked for here is a CID. CIDs have been around in Kansas since 2009 to help cities promote business activity and economic development. CIDs are designed to be either a special assessment or a special sales tax on retail sales, up to a 2% max for no longer than 22 years within a designated district. CIDs can be used by the property owners to cover things like vertical construction, some of the infrastructure and parking, and et cetera. These are not sales taxes that currently exist. They are an additional sales tax on retail sales that's added to that district or the property. So basically, it's something that the landowner or the developer will choose to have imposed on themselves at their business to help reimburse for some of those eligible costs. And
even though the CID is an added sales tax, the city still keeps our full sales tax revenues that would be created. And so while the CID can be up to 2%, and for this project, the developer is requesting that 2%. So just some more numbers on the CID. So there is a total project cost estimated at $11.1 million. And of this amount, nearly 6.6 million of those costs could be eligible for CID reimbursement. However, the CID is expected to generate about $2 million over that 22-year term. So that would be what could go to the developer. So here's the calendar showing where we're at in the process. So these are multi-step processes for both TIF and CID, and they do both require public hearings. So that's what we're here to discuss today, is 2 resolutions to set those public hearing dates. That date would be set for April 9th because that would comply with the statutory timeframes that are required to exist between approval of a resolution and then the notification requirements. So some more financial numbers on the project. So like I said, that is an estimated total cost of about $11.1 million. The developer has also estimated that the annual retail sales of the truck stop would be $5 million and then $20 million in fuel sales. The TIF is estimated to generate about $4.5 million over the 20-year lifespan, with about $4.2 million of that eligible for reimbursement. And then, like I said, the CID is estimated to generate $2 million. The developer would receive anything that CID could generate. Both the TIF and CID would be pay-as-you-go, so again, the revenues would only be distributed as the developer performs to create those revenues. So once again, these are 2 items that will require 2 separate actions, one for each, the TIF and the CID. So these will be the options on both of those. And these will be the actions requested for each, so there will be 2 motions.
I move we advance the project by adopting Resolution 2026-002, setting a hearing date on the adoption of the TIF project plan, April 9th, 2026.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jacobs, second by Commissioner Musil on resolution for the TIF. Questions, comments on the TIF portion?
Let's just get it going.
Get it going.
Anything from you, Elena?
No.
Okay. Not, I'll call for a vote on the TIF one. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 5-0 for the public hearing.
I'll move the petition forwarded by adopting resolution number 2026-003, setting a hearing date on the creation of the CID, April 9th, 2026.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Jacobs, second by Commissioner Musil. Questions, comments on the CID portion?
I'm just excited to see this. I know we got a long ways to go, but get this going. And, you know, the other day I was in Ellis early in the morning, and I think the interstate was closed. There was an accident, and there were semis parked along, you know, the interstate. And, you know, we get this built, and, you know, they can stop in Hayes and not have to, you know, park on the, and possibly bring in more sales tax. So I think this is exciting, and there'll be, I truly believe in that area there'll be more to come after this. So I'm excited for this.
Mr. Augustine does a wonderful job with his projects. You can see him up and down the interstate as you go. And if he wasn't sure of his success, I can promise he probably wouldn't be doing it. So we're excited he chose our area to put another one in.
Elena?
No, I would just echo that I'm excited to see this finally get put in place for us to have a truck stop at that exit, and I think it's just a much needed addition. So thank you to them.
All right. No other comments on that? I'll call for a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Passes 5-0, setting the public hearing there. Thanks, Jared. Next up, progress report. Colin.
Good afternoon, Colin Belzer, Deputy City Manager. For this month's, this is actually pretty exciting. It doesn't seem like it is. So the solid waste employees are to be commended for recent accolades received from the city's paper cardboard broker, which is Midland Davis, and the paper mill in Kentucky where the product is shipped. So the mill in Henderson, Kentucky, which is the largest paper mill in the nation, randomly breaks open a bale coming through the facility to perform a hand search to analyze for any prohibited materials like styrofoam, plastics, etc. Upon breaking open a bale weighing about a little over 1,300 pounds, they found less than a pound of prohibitives, which is the least they've ever found in a bail search at that mill. So not only do the solid waste employees do a great job of processing the paper, but the citizens of Hayes also do a great job of ensuring the materials separated and recycled properly.
Very nice.
City of Hayes Stormwater Division was proud to partner with 7 Fort Hays State Rhodes Scholars who volunteered their time to help clean up approximately 600 yards of local creek corridor. In just 2 hours, the group collected nearly 180 pounds of trash and debris, helping improve water quality and restore the natural beauty of the area. And then the Stormwater Division did provide them with sandwiches and drinks after their cleanup for all the hard work. 13 yards of concrete was used by the Surface Division to repair damaged curb in the 1200 block of Pine. And another 13 yards of concrete was used by the Surface Division to repair damaged curb at 18th and Fort. And unfortunately, they did have to use some concrete to repair pavement after Water Resources had to perform a water leak repair at 15th and Main. Deputy Chief Shane Preston and Captain Aaron Ditter attended the Kansas International Association of Arson Investigators Conference in Wichita, February 3rd through 5th. This conference provides continuous education for fire investigators. And then Chief Ryan Hagens and firefighter Grady Keith were invited to participate in Governor Kelly's Kansas Wildfire Awareness Week proclamation, which happened on January 30th. Then, unfortunately, Deputy Fire Chief Shane Preston, Captain Kirk Clyde, and firefighter Grant Cheney assisted with the fires down in southwest Kansas. The deployment was at the request by the Kansas Emergency Operations Center, and these their specific task was to help with structure protection between Ashland and Inglewood. At Massey Park, staff removed the old dilapidated play unit, concrete border, dug out mulch and mud, and hauled in clay soil to level the site, and built the new play unit, put up borders, laid weed barriers, and installed the fall zone material and benches for the new play unit.
That was fast.
It was.
Very busy over there, too.
A new sidewalk was installed at Proud Optimist to connect the restrooms, shelter house, and playground. And M&D Excavating donated their time and machinery to reshape and level the baseball fields with red dirt at Sunrise Park. Dirt was stockpiled when the complex installed turf infields. So this project is part of the Women Who Lead Sunrise Park Renovation Phase 1.
It's really hard to tell what those women know.
I think Boyle would agree. And then officers of the PD attended lunch with TMP and Holy Family students to celebrate Catholic Schools Week. And afterward, the students delivered a thank you sign that was hung up on display at the police department. Officers Kaylin Leach and Devin Henderson visited Wilson Elementary to help kindergartners celebrate their 100th day of school and congratulate them on their hard work. And then Chief Don Scheibler visited Topeka to advocate for Kansas Senate Bill 445, which would enable local law enforcement agencies to request assistance from the Kansas Highway Patrol and the Kansas Bureau of Investigation for funerals of officers killed in the line of duty. Our 9 property staff went out with KDHE and Burns McDonald's personnel to review the well-filled certain locations, and that, as you know, is in the final review process. Water Resources maintenance staff responded to and repaired a water leak at 1911 Eisenhower on February 2nd. And then staff have been replacing fire hydrants. These 2 are at 35th and Hall and 3000 block of Tam O'Shanter. Holly Dickman and Stacy Minson paired up to provide presentations and fun activities on water conservation and water quality for Holy Family and O'Laughlin Elementary 5th graders, as well as the HRC School Out program, which Holly mentioned they'd started a partnership. And Reeve brought home stuff from that. He participated. CVB worked with airport staff to install new posters in the airport baggage claim to promote Hayes' 2025 Community of the Year Award and hunting at the city's R9 Ranch. On February 11th and 12th, Melissa Dixon and Janet Kuhn attended Destination State House in Topeka. It's an event that's hosted by the Travel Industry Association of Kansas to meet with legislators about the impacts of tourism. And then the CVB's year in review includes several accomplishments worth mentioning. Over 223 groups and events were supported by Janet Kuhn. Receptionist Annette Barber assisted visitors in over $1,700 in sales at the Hayes Merch and the Welcome Center. Marketing manager Kristen Fike secured a first place TIAC Marketing Award at the Kansas Tourism Conference for the Visit Hayes monthly e-newsletter. She actually, or that award, competed with larger markets such as Wichita, Topeka, and Kansas City, Kansas. And then also under Kristen Fike's management, social media impressions has more than 400% increase to 2.1 million impressions, which apparently is primarily TikTok. So thank you for that. Administrative Assistant Jenny Rajowski wrote a stellar nomination for Hayes to secure the Community Playmaker 2025 Community of the Year Award. And based on hotel revenue reports, the economic impact of overnight visitors is estimated at $66.5 million.
Hey, Colin, I have a question on that. I know we have hotel rooms sold. Is there any way of knowing how many Airbnbs were sold for the year?
Yes.
Please. I was actually asking you, sorry.
Go ahead, Melissa.
Melissa Dixon, Director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. Those reports are available, but until the hotels say Airbnbs are encroaching on our sales, I'm not willing to pay the cost to get those extra reports.
Fair enough.
But it's possible.
Fair enough.
You bet.
Okay, thank you.
And then the new police station project continues to take shape and make excellent progress. Basement framing is complete with plumbing and electrical in full swing. Upstairs framing is nearly complete, and new water and fire line installation has been completed. And then lastly, the vehicle maintenance bay, which used to be their old ATM, the slabs being poured, and it's starting to be closed in. So, any questions?
Lots
I
of
might be able to
progress.
answer some.
I got nothing. Thank you, Colin.
Thanks, Colin. All right, Melissa, what's happening?
Hello again, Commissioners. Melissa Dixon, Director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, with some things I want to be sure are on your radar for March. There's a special concert, Classics and Hymns Spring Tour with the Collingsworth family. March the 5th, this will be at the Beach Schmidt Performing Arts Center. And then Hayes High School presents The Sound of Music, the 5th and the 6th at 7 p.m. and then Sunday matinee at 2. And that'll be at the beautiful new Hayes High Performing Arts Center, which if you haven't seen it, I so encourage you to go see this one and watch for my son. The USA Wrestling Kansas District 4 Championships. This is Kids Club. It is not quite as large as state wrestling, but it is very close. This will be March 6th and 7th at Gross Memorial Coliseum. And World Water Day Fun Fest. That'll be the week of spring break, Thursday the 19th from 10 to noon. That's always a great time out at Sternberg Museum. And then Special Olympics Kansas State Basketball and Cheerleading Tournament will once again be at Gross Memorial, March 20th and 21st. These athletes were so sweet to let me take their picture last year. And then there's a Western Kansas 3-on-3 basketball tournament on the 21st, and that'll be out at Hayes Middle School. The races will crank up out at RPM Speedway on the 26th and 28th with the annual Sunflower Classic. And then the Fox Theater presents Pop Punk Night, March the 27th with a van full of nuns.
I just know our mayor will be there.
I
I
hope
just
so.
know he will be.
I haven't got a ticket, but I want to.
And the Chamber will host another legislative coffee on the 28th at Hayes Public Library. Be sure to go and get all your questions answered from our representatives. The first USSSA tournament will be the 28th out at Bickelschmidt Sports Complex. Just the way the date falls, they usually start in April. This one will actually start in late March, and there are 26 teams signed up already.
That's fast.
And then kicking off the Easter season is the Hayes Public Library. They'll be the first to have an egg hunt and Easter Bunny photos on the 30th, 6 to 7 p.m. And I have to remind you that state wrestling is this weekend. Last year we worked with Kansas Tourism to determine economic impact. They use the same format that Fort Hays State does to help us do reports. And last year's Boys and Girls Together in Hays had an economic impact in our community of 1.2 million, estimated 1.2 million. So that's this weekend. The coaches are checking in right now at Gross Memorial Coliseum.
Sounds like a great
Thank you.
weekend to stay home and barbecue, huh?
Yes, give your service industry folks some leniency this weekend.
Yes, please.
All right. Commission inquiries and comments. Elena.
Yeah, Melissa just also have a large NAYD tournament in town this weekend, so just wanted to remind the community, be patient, there'll be increased traffic, but also be really welcoming to the visitors. Show them what all we have to highlight, and I'm just excited to have that many people in our community this weekend and getting to see what we have to offer. And then my last thing is, I always love to touch on Hayes High, so they have their last regular season game this Friday in Great Bend. Sorry, I don't know why it's gonna make me emotional.
I knew you were going to do that. I knew you. Bless your heart.
Been there, done that.
And then, because we won't be present the next 2 weeks, keep your eyes out, keep them peeled. They will, the boys and the girls have had an amazing season, and you should see them in some playoff games, and some of those should get to be hosted there in Hayes. So, that is all I have tonight.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Commissioner Blasey.
Just want to remind everybody that construction has started on 4th Street, south of 27th. It is a very narrow street right now. My suggestion is if you can avoid the area, probably best to avoid the area. But there is still one lane open to get you through from 27th to right around 20th, I believe it was. But very, very tight in that area. So be safe in there. Give our construction crews a break. Other thing I wanted to note on was there was a group that went around the parks picking up trash by the creeks. How much did you say they picked up?
It was 180 pounds. Yeah.
180 pounds. It's crazy how much trash can get collected down in those areas. If you're at the parks and you take some trash with you, make sure you take it out with you, or make sure it gets deposited in the right trash cans. We got to take care of what we got, and let's do it as a community.
Absolutely. Commissioner Jacobs.
I too wanted to welcome the 321A wrestling. I usually get to attend it every year, but this year I'll be in Wichita with a grandson that's seated #1 in 5A state wrestling, so that'll be fun. But this one down here is amazing. These kids are great, and especially the young women. Those women are just terrific. I also want to congratulate Melissa on her new sign. The sign is, long time we've talked about a new sign out there, and it's really nice to see it going up. Biggest thing, and Mr. Crispin left, but I appreciated that we had staff headed to Ellis to help them out with some situation they had with a bad leak this week. We continue to be great neighbors, and I'm proud of them for it. Thank you.
Commissioner Musil.
I'm going to touch on wrestling also, but a little bit different. I had a family member contact me from a school in the region that they got 4 girls coming to state, and they had no hotel rooms, and they looked everywhere from Russell to Ellis, couldn't find them. And so I contacted Adam Prey, and he set them up and got them all taken care of, and just couldn't believe how nice, he was to take care of them. And she told me that he said he gave him a good deal because he knew me, but I was surprised he didn't charge her more. But I just, and I told him personally, but shout out to Adam Prey. He didn't, I'm sure he's got multiple Airbnbs and they're all, packed. So just that's what we do in our community. So I know he's a business person, but he actually, when I owned the Pays a Pair, had some customers. I think I expressed it here that couldn't find a room because we had something going on, and he took care of them. So I don't know, warms my heart when I hear people take care of others, and and they're going to be in town, and going to be a lot of people, wrestlers, and like you said, the mayor said, give the restaurants, people working in there, give them a little grace because it all happens at once, and it's a little crazy, and we have 61 little kids basketball going to be here in town the same day, and we have Victoria playing a playoff game at TMP. So
When it rains, it pours.
There's a lot going on, but it's like Melissa said, there's a lot of tax dollars going to be bringing into our town, and when we lost state wrestling, a lot of these people that contact me, they were just so upset that Hayes didn't, because when they went to Salina, they said it was just so amazing how much better we do than Salina. So we do it right, and let's keep it up.
Thank you. Yeah, a lot going on. A lot of people. I know traveling back today from Topeka, I think every single vehicle that was heading my way was a school district pulling into town. And they were loaded up with wrestlers. I could tell because each one of them could beat me up. So one thing I wanted to touch on was this morning, Toby and I were able to provide testimony to the Senate Committee on Local Government Transparency and Ethics on a bill that we are so blessed to have Representative Barb Wassinger spearheading for us. It was great. We had a lot of support there, a lot of wonderful in-person support and written testimony from the community. We greatly appreciate all that support, and we look forward for the Senate Committee to move it on, and we appreciate them taking it up and letting us speak our piece on that. I think that is all I have. Any other questions, comments for the good of the order? Okay, if not, I'll call for the adjournment at 5:25.
Good job.
Faster.